Hey guys, this is Mauisnake bringing you episode 12 of my pro player analysis series. And for this one, I'm going to be doing Device of Astralis. And this is one of the players I've been the most excited to cover. So let's get into it. Device is 21 years old from Denmark, playing for Astralis, team that's definitely the favorite to win the upcoming major. They've looked like they've had extremely good form lately. They came in second place in ELEAGUE Season 2 to Optic, and they were able to beat Optic in ECS Season 2 finals. And in the past 3 months, Device has posted up a 1.24 rating. He's been incredibly strong. He's been not only just a sick playmaker, but he's been a sick clutcher, entry. It seems like he's done it all from games I've watched. So what I'm going to be going over is from ECS Season 2, one of the first games that were played in the entire... I think it might have been actually the first game played in the entire event. And it's Astralis versus Optic. It was a little bit of a finals preview. So let's get into it. But yeah, Astralis is just... There doesn't seem to be a weakness right now in the team. They've... Other than the only weakness they've had so far is Nafly going into straight up God mode. But I don't think anyone could prepare for that. So the demo that I'm going over is them on Dust 2. It's a little weird. It goes into two parts. I think... I'm not sure exactly if it's like a first half and a second half or something. But... Alright. So I heard there's a good amount of banter between Optic and Astralis. I think there's like probably the beginning of a rivalry here. They both met in the finals again. Like they've been in the finals twice in a row. This is before they met in the finals the second time, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of talking going on between these two teams. Okay. So for Astralis' strat, they're doing some kind of tunnels play with Device just peeking down mid, making sure that no one's going to peek them low or anything weird. All he bought was a decoy and armor. Just decides to throw the decoy into long. Actually, it seems like it's slightly causing Rush to move over towards A, but he might quickly shift back as they find out what's happening. Got the clean Candy Apple Glock, one of the cleaner skins in the game in general. Candy Apple's just kind of a good skin in general. It's really just slick. It's some really nice, like, solid red. And he's not able to pick up the trade there. And Rush has an insane round. So, he's picking up a sick 4K at the doors. And now he decides to deagle up. Deagle armor, actually. So, he's not saving for an op or anything. Doesn't look like anyone actually on the team is. They're trying to win this round with some picks. Also, Device has got that nice Buzz Lightyear avatar. Like, I don't even know what to say about it. Dupree also has a Buzz Lightyear avatar. Show it here. I'm not sure what the reasoning behind that is. And he's got the standard deagle. I'm not trying to have all my reviews just be about the skins. Okay, I just do that for a flavor. But I've just noticed things I'm noticing so far. Not too much to say yet. I mean, it was a mid play, and they just died instantly. So, Tarek with a quick shot there takes Device out, and looks like they lost that round too. Now it's just a full up Glock buy with some couple P250s. Not sure how I feel about the P250s being bought. I don't like when people really buy too far under 1900. 2000 is kind of like a really safe range to be, so you can have some nice utility for the upcoming gun round. You don't want to just be on like an AK flashbang buy. That's always really weak. So I think going down that low is usually a bad idea. But it's actually getting them a couple frags here, so it might have already paid off. Dupree got two kills there. And now Device is going for a flank here on ramp. And this really makes Rush nervous. Now he's got to cover two things at once. He's got to cover catwalk and he has to cover long A. So instead of doing any of that, he decides to shift down, or shift towards cat. So he has to make an aggressive play, and that's usually just kind of something you don't want to do against pistols. But that little pressure that Device put on him actually made this happen. So good there coming out, Device, not overstaying his welcome either. Just taking a little fight, falling back, making Rush try to have to make the play there. Rush could have either fallen down through like CT spawn, and would have gave up the A side entirely, which is pretty bad for Optic, or he could just like fight his way out somewhere. And since Rush had no idea how many people were at long, he chose going towards cat, where there's a little more cover, but he knew at least one guy was towards cat. Oh. And, oh jeez. That looked like it was right on him. That's really unfortunate for Device to not get that kill there. I don't know, there's just not too much to say. He was playing that, I felt like, really properly. He might have wanted to reset his recoil a little bit, but I'm just saying that in hindsight now. I think he was doing that. I think his taps usually would be on point. That inaccuracy, though, just maybe like a third of a second or a quarter of a second, just too quick between those taps. Usually, though, that would work. And now he's being the entry on this mid play here. Saved the M4 from the previous round. He's going to use it. Doesn't even take a glance towards A if anyone's out in the smoke or anything. And he's able to get two really sick entry frags there. So, and now he's making the shocks play. Like Stewie makes this play too, where they move towards this between these boxes here, which can catch off rotations. Usually isolates everyone towards A. Basically, everyone towards A wants to rotate through CT, and by playing in these boxes right there, you can stop any rotations. Ends up dying, but I think his work was done there with those two entry frags. And now he decides to pick up the op. So instead of going for an actual pick between the doorway, he just goes for the more probable door shot. Like, not between the crack between the doors, but like actually shooting the door itself, just to get the wall bang off. And now he's kind of becoming a support opera here. His team was already doing some entry fragging out. He throws a bad flash, bad communication between his teammates there, between him and I think Glaive, yeah. And now they're just trying to deal with this last guy towards long. I think he's in the smoke. I think he's right here. Yeah, he's in the smoke. And Rush catches him out like that, just being in the smoke, hiding. And I want to see if Dupree is able to shoot him his way out of the situation. Dupree, I meant Device, but Dupree was on the flank there. And Device was just a quick shot on Stanislaw. Stanislaw wide peeking there. It's a really bad idea against Device and Dupree, especially. Now they're going for, seems to be a pretty fast mid-control play. When you run down Suicide like that, it's not very resource intensive, so you don't have to do that X-Vox smoke, potentially do some other smokes or anything like that. They're against a pistol buy, so I think running down like that is a little questionable, but it's kind of like an anti-fast cat play, where you smoke mid so they can't push you through that very easily, and then if they're fast catting, they want to usually push out, and so they're playing a long-range engagement with those fast catters. Doesn't allow them to get up, but it also doesn't allow them to push you mid. It's a pretty good play overall. And now they switch guns with Glaive and Device. The Bogdan rule, where you give the op to the guy with less health. I mean, Bogdan, perfectly right, but Glaive is not Bogdan, so. Yeah, they actually gave the op to a lower HP person. I don't think that's, in this situation, I don't think it's that bad. I think when Steele was so adamant about that play, he was a little overkill. He's just kind of getting mad at Bogdan, not actually using his brain entirely. And Kirby is getting some Mac 10 kills on that catwalk. So now Device is actually kind of the entry fragger again when he's using the rifle. Seems like he's been the entry fragger pretty frequently in these situations. Maybe, yeah, he just likes taking those fast out deathmatch aim duels. Switches back to the op though. Gonna go for a mid pick. And this is a preferred way of opping mid. It doesn't, there's a lot of different ways to op mid from T side that I've seen pros do. I think a lot of them favor that that left corner there, but it gives you a slightly tougher shot if anyone's jumping through the door crack. You're not going to always consistently hit that, but you're probably not going to get off back either if you're playing on this. So like this position is kind of safer, but it gives you less opportunity to actually inflict damage. This position is probably the strongest in terms of inflicting damage, but it leaves you the most exposed, because if people peek you, you're just wide out in the open. You don't have any cover at all. So again, Device is actually kind of like doing, or it's not again. So, okay, so this is why the demo needs a second part here, yeah. So close out here. And hopefully it just picks up right then and there. Device is a really good game. Here, I think he drops like 90-something ADR, and it seems like the server might have actually just crashed, and they have to replay this round. And they're resetting all the money and all the resources and everything. And it looks like they're going to be going into just a completely new round. I guess that just happened in the tournament. I didn't see this match live, so I'm not exactly sure what the explanation was, but my assumption is just that it some kind of server error or crash. But now it looks like we're definitely good to go. Shouldn't be any problems from here on out. 36 minutes of demo seems like more than enough. I thought someone on Optic had a rifle though, so this is a little confusing why there's no M4 on someone. I really thought they had one, but maybe not. Device getting really aggressive towards mid. Jumping up on the barrel is a pretty ballsy play. It's already more exciting than the last demo I just did with the world edit. So the rest of his team is working picks towards spots. It's kind of like an A-centric default that Astralis are running. Thing is, Optic are actually in an A stack of sorts. It's not really working out for them though. Dust2 just has kind of too many long-range engagements that make it really difficult for anyone to. Like, pistols are pretty hard. The only real good spots are like behind corners and then on catwalk. And now they're going into a full-on cat play. They're actually just running straight into the hole. I don't know, they have to think a little bit about that round because they actually sent all 5 of their players right towards Optic there. And they didn't even really check if B was stacked or anything. And B was free the entire round. But it didn't really matter, actually. So Device is responsible for opping down mid. For Astralis here, he's done a lot of entry fragging when he's rifling, but he takes a much more passive approach to opping. Dupree gets a pick on Stanislaw in the default. Just kind of an individual play there. Definitely wasn't part of any kind of strategy for him to do that. And he gets a little greedy, it seems, or maybe he just got naded. Yeah, he was pretty far back in the tunnels. But usually off a pick like that, you can think mid to B is a strong play, or a mid to B fake that ends up going into a cat play. And it seems like they're opting to go for the cat play. They didn't even throw a mid to B smoke, but they already got a couple people to rotate down. And, oh, it's actually kind of a double fake, maybe. And Device is just responsible for holding mid in all of this. This is vanilla op. The vanilla op's pretty good. It's a good color. I mean, it's just a green, like, I don't know. It's probably one of the better vanilla skins in the game, honestly. So it's kind of like a drop strat or something where 2 people had to go down, but. Able to get a kill before falling. Not bad. Not much you can do in that situation. When you're going cat with the op, you usually don't want to be the first one or anything like that. it's too easy for people to just kind of like shoulder peek you when you're like when they're on ramp or like on plat or even goose and stuff like that, and then you're just kind of stuck out in the open waiting for that guy to re-peek you, and then someone can peek you from another angle. So it's usually you don't want that guy going first. I think long though, you can see some more entry fragging with the op, where they just hold that early position in the doorway and then they start creeping up onto plat, which kind of seems like it might be happening here. Yep. So he gets the early pick towards plat. And that really opens things up. They already got a pick earlier in the round. I think Dupree just was working and killed a Nafly towards B. Or wait, no, actually, no. I'm sorry, that's not right. I guess he got a kill just earlier in this long exec while I was talking. I assumed he just did the same thing like, towards B again in their default, where he just thought he could outpick Stanislaw or something, but no, that didn't happen. Now they're waiting for Optic to make a play. You're in a 5-on-3. You don't really have to rush it or anything. You can wait for Optic to spread their defenses. Optic's either going to go for like a sack or they're going to spread their defenses thin. They're opting to spread out pretty thin, and now he's just holding back, playing like a support op kind of play. There's no reason for him to get antsy with an entry or anything. If they plant for long plat, the round is pretty much secured, and should be a pretty clean, easy take. I don't think Device, though, needs to worry too much about plat here. So he's getting a little antsy, trying to help out. Now he has a Zipix, though, looking towards long, so he doesn't have to worry about it. And he's covering the run-up for the rest of his team. Actually, even choosing to double scope it, because he trusts his team enough to have that plat control. And to comm properly. I mean, it's not even too much faith to put into your team to do that, but again, you just won't always see people double scope, and a lot of the greatest operas are going to be double scoping a lot, so you should incorporate it more often. So this time he decides to play on the right side, hoping to inflict some damage. It looks like he's noticed that there hasn't been any kind of like counter-opping against him, so he can definitely just play on that right side. Oh my god, Tarek, calm down. If you heard that. Not able to get the bomb down. This is usually the woes of an opper on Dust 2. To do some kind of B hit for your team to die, and then you kind of have to cover tunnels, and you kind of have to help out with the advancing of the bomb. That was a 1-on-3. Surprised that flash didn't do anything on the guy coming out window. Maybe he just came out a second too early. So Device is hoping that Tarek repeaks mid, just holding this position for a while. It doesn't seem like he's going to get anything out of this, but the rest of his team might just go into a cat exec of sorts. And gives the bomb away so that he can probably just cover the long angles as this fight starts to go down. It's just a flat out cat hit. They didn't even throw... Maybe they threw a smoke for CT, but definitely not as heavy of a cat exec as you can sometimes see out of certain teams. But those cat execs tend to be pretty ineffective, honestly. So Astralis just doesn't decide to do that. Kind of like try with a couple flashbangs run out. Device is in a pretty tricky spot here. It was a 2-on-4 a second ago, or a 3-on-4 a second ago, and he was responsible for covering long. and kind of covering CT. Great movement there. Decides to switch out his basic op for a Dragon War. Typical trade up. That is a messed up Dragon War. Dragon Poor. And he hasn't done any damage through the doors yet, which is kind of surprising to me. I think most operas that play this map a lot would have done something by now. But he's been playing it kind of like safely. Like he's not always going for the picks right away or anything like that. He's trying to count, trying to get information, trying to make sure he doesn't get op back, lose an early pick or something. So now they're going into potentially a mid to B fake. Since the bomb's on Cat, yeah, it seems like it's definitely a mid or B play at this point. And Optic are catching wind of it, moving all their players either through CT or Cat. And they might try to pinch it, like crunch it from Cat and from CT at the same time, and it worked out pretty well. Rush is able to get 2 kills. Device tasked with going with the main squad, though, to go into B. It seemed like it was more like a 3. Actually, maybe they adjusted, but that's definitely a miscommunication, not having anyone watch tunnels at that point. I actually didn't hear anyone coming through tunnels. My volume is pretty low, though, for these reviews, so I'm not hearing everything, because I just don't want it to be too loud as you guys are trying to listen to me talk. Now they go into a fast Cat play. I think that round Device did mostly what it's supposed to, but I think it could have been a rifler watching tunnels. Usually watching tunnels with an op is kind of difficult, as opposed to watching... It's very easy to watch the Cat or the door run out and the window run out with an op, as opposed... But watching tunnels can actually be harder. Seems just kind of... Which is kind of like a weird thought, but just kind of like what I've noticed in my experience. And now they're just doing the rank S JDM strat for the eco, where they just group up in the smoke and they just flash out of it and try to get the bomb down, and it works out. Device hasn't had to do anything yet this round, but now he's just sitting on the bomb, and this is kind of an interesting angle to hold. I think. And that was a really nice showing from Device. Almost won that. Really close. If he didn't white peek at that last second and got that 1 kill and it was a one-on-one with Stanislaw, he easily could have taken that round down. But really good showing from him. Showing that even though the round looks so over, even though it's a 4v1, he still manages to pull out 3 really nice kills there. And it hurts Optic's economy a lot. So if Optic, even if Optic win this, if 3 of them die, they don't have a full buy for the following round. That stuff just really pays off into the future. A lot of economic damage like that can be round winning and you don't even know it is, because it can win you the next round. And like, just great players will just keep inflicting damage even if the round is over, when it's safe to. I mean, he's defending the bomb, so of course he's trying to inflict damage, but like, sometimes people are just gonna like give up, mentally give up, and you just can't do that. So going more aggressive for an op pick here, peeking all the really tight angles through the doors and whatnot, but he's not going to get anything here, so I'm going to fast forward a bit. So now he's doing an entry op roll. So he's taking first contact with everyone, running up through door with an op, running into sight, gets another quick kill on Stanislaw. Just really sick from Device here. That's not something everyone could do, just running out with an op like that. Those kills didn't look actually that difficult, but his positioning and his timing with his scopes and whatnot, like he didn't scope too early, he didn't scope too late, he didn't I mean, it was really clean. He basically used it like a rifle, as if he's peeking with an AK almost, but he used it with an op. And the last members of Optic are saving. The damage has been done, and because of all that damage that the device was able to do that previous round, they're on a really bad buy. Whereas they might have had money for a couple more rifles or whatnot. Now it's making Optic play a little bit out of their comfort zone, where Tarek went for a pretty quick pick early mid. That could have been his death if device were a little faster on the trigger. And it makes them gamble a lot more. So now they have to rotate in a way that they normally wouldn't. And they do this kind of frequently, where they switch the op onto the person with lower HP, Bogdan's Law. So again, showing Bogdan is the smartest player in Rank S, or used to be Rank S. And then the device just gets taken out. He had to switch to the AK. He's trying to look for an opening there. And even though I kind of want to see just kind of how this round ends. So Optic, it's not actually the most impressive play. But it seemed like they had a good hold on that round until the very end. So now device gets fast-catted, watching the lower run out. A lot of teams are going to do that on pistol rounds for terror side. They're going to try to get a couple guys into lower, try to get some mid controlled like that. It's usually a safer play than just running straight down mid, or less resource intensive. So this is a pretty good idea. It's a pretty good idea. Good awareness of what most teams are going to run as a strat. Always chooses to buy the decoy on these pistol rounds. Quick on the fall off. Really clean movement there. I mean, it's not like he had to hit any insane hops or anything like that, but he was very efficient in his route to get back. Didn't take any damage that he didn't need to take. Now, though, Optic are able to read that he had to get pushed back into the A bomb site, so it looks like they're going for a B hit. But device there was just really clean in everything he did. He heard what was going on mid, trying to just get one little peek, maybe get a USP headshot or something. But wasn't able to, so he just falls back. He just plays it smart. Now he's able to do a 3-on-3 retake, 3-on-2. Actually, it was 4-on-3 for a second, and Stanislaw got a couple nice kills. Him and Careby now, trying to get in the site. Really clean shot from device there, just getting that entry there, and allows Careby to. I want to see. Allows Careby to win it. So good on device there. Good patience, good timing, good positioning. Didn't over peek tunnels or anything when he did that. His movement's just really clean. It's not flashy or anything. It's just he's working angles very efficiently. And now he's going to be faced with what looks to be a cat rush here, and he should get a pretty nice multi-kill. And there you go, device ace. Just against Glocks with no armor, so I mean it's not the craziest thing, but that use of the smoke though helped him out a lot. Just using resources like that is pretty underrated on anti-ecos. If they really want to push you, they're gonna push you, and even if that means through a smoke, and he's able to get a kill that he didn't even see, and he's able to make everything else just a 1v1 repeatedly. It's pretty aggressive towards mid there. This moving behind the door right there is kind of an off angle. If anyone peeks him, re-peeks him, they're never gonna look. They're never gonna pre-aim right there. It's not huge or anything, but it is a really nice kind of micro play there. Now they're boosting him up. Instead of deciding to take that super wide peek, he's just taking some calm crouch peeks with the op. Optic definitely at least kind of showed they had that long control, and now it's up to device now to pretty much take them all on, or take this first contact. I'm sure they're going to flash out though, so we might have to back up. So I think he tagged rushed there through the wall. He decides to smoke Plat off there for, to prevent like any kind of double sack molly. And he tried playing with the smoke there, but Mixwell got the better of him. And I'm a little surprised Mixwell was able to see him so well, but I think it's because of the light background behind him. I wish he got a little more aggressive towards long, but he might have thought that he was being held with an op or something. They still end up winning the round, but if you... Ooh, and Nafly just gets a really sick deagle shot. He spotted the... What a lot of teams will do is they'll have a guy perched right here. If your positioning's not perfect, though, what an opper can do is they can see your arm. Just trying to make sure that no one gets into lower on your team. So they just have a guy sitting right here, looking down. But as Device was trying to exploit that, he gets taken out by Nafly. Now they have an op, or Optic too. Still able to get the round down, though. And he gets the op back. So Device will move between what seems like a cat and mid a lot. It's kind of like a 2-1-2 setup for Astralis, with the only really real rotator as being Device. Sometimes they just completely give up mid control though. This is super susceptible to fast mid takes and quick mid to Bs and whatnot, but it's still like a pretty good mix up. Adds some dynamicness to your CT setup. Good patience from Device there. I think a lot of players are going to throw that smoke and just kind of re-scope up. But what you want to do is use that smoke actually to your advantage. So his patience there, just waiting. Usually people are going to get flashed into cat anyways, and they might flash themselves up after that smoke comes out. So then he peeks it like kind of as it's blooming. Because usually someone's going to say, flash me up cat. They smoked it. And then what he's doing is he's playing an angle that really won't get flashed that badly. So he can just take the fight kind of in a counter flash position. So he likes playing behind this single box a good deal. He's responsible for watching two things at once right now, which is pretty tough for him. Well, I think Dupree and Zipix have his run up, so it's not a terrible situation for him, but now he's in a pretty tricky spot where he has to watch long, and he's also getting flanked from Cat by Rush, and yeah, he just can't hold both things at the same time. That's a really tough spot for him. I was pretty curious to see if he could pull something out there, but no, he wasn't able to. Just tough, just really tough, honestly. Gets tagged in the beginning by Mixwell.
Fuck, that's good.
So he's just watching long, watching A. He's responsible for A right now. He's kind of becoming the anchor, and now he's going to go for a retake. Decides to switch to the M4, which I think that most people are going to do that, especially in a 2-on-1 where you kind of expect the last guy to be low. You don't want to just jump in with an op. Oh, good angle. Doesn't just jump up on the rock, but takes the peek first for that headshot little spot. You might know Mixwell likes to do that. It might not. It might just know that people like to do that in general. So he's able to catch him. So far, Device just seems like a really complete player with really good aim and shots to match that. He hasn't seemed like the actually like most impressive opper, but he's a really good hybrid. And now he's using that smoke as kind of cover, so he can't get peeked by too many things at the same time. And he gets spammed through the wall. Pretty good help to begin the round. He's able to get a kill and inflict, I'm pretty sure, a good amount of damage. So, job was done pretty well there. And now he's just getting pretty aggressive. So he likes to get aggressive sometimes, but he doesn't get like overly aggressive. I'd sometimes see people like actually push this cap position, but as opposed to doing that, he just kind of like gets the aggressive angle and doesn't really go all the way. Like he doesn't fully commit to the aggressive play. Starts hearing though people are coming towards cat. Probably expects a flash to come out and some nades. So playing it, yeah. Now he's playing a counter flash kind of spot, and Optic decide against it. They get kind of hasty. I think Optic can sometimes be kind of an emotional team, where they're just like, we gotta go fast, and they kind of have a hard time changing their tempo up mid-round. And that's that. Okay, so that's Device. So here we go. So Device, really complete player. Really can use every weapon really well. Seemed like a really good pistol player. Really good on ecos. I mean, his P250 round on Plat was insane. He almost won a 1v4 with nothing but a P250 against 4 dudes with like complete guns and armor. So that was crazy. Seems to be I'd say a really good AWPer, but not like the greats. The greats being like, you know, Kenny S and Fallen and my favorite's Henny. I don't know, but I don't know if everyone would put Henny up there, but definitely really good. Definitely a really good AWPer. He's just kind of like, I think what he's better at than actually AWPing really well and having like really great aim is that he puts himself in a lot of positions to AWP effectively, or to use his AWP really effectively. So like he's not like hitting every shot that's on his screen like Mao did when I went over him. He pretty much hit everything that came his way, and that's really impressive. But Device puts himself in a lot of positions and has good timings with the AWP, which is still a really big part of it. But it's not just that raw like I can hit everything. I can hit every shot with the AWP. If someone comes up on my screen, I'm gonna flick to them and hit them instantly. And no one can really do that very well. I think Fallen might be up there actually at doing that the best, but I don't. But everyone's susceptible to missing now and then. So it's the first game of an event. You're not like as dialed in as you would be in like a finals or something. But regardless, really capable rifler too. His AK shots were so on point. When Stanislaw peeked him that one time, he just like instantly headshotted. Good tracking ability. So his tracking aim might be better than his flicking aim, but he's got both down pretty well, as most pros do. But you can't actually. I couldn't really tell that well whether he's more of a tracker or a flicker. I think he slightly probably leans towards being a tracker, because he kind of just missed a lot of flicks. And usually, if you just kind of miss a lot of flicks, you probably aren't really that kind of flick shotty person. But good willpower, I guess. The 1-on-4 with the P250 was super impressive. Sometimes he knows how his team needs to get into his spot. And so this will happen. If you're like the IGL, and I don't think he's the IGL, he's not. What'll happen is you really are forcing these strats to get done. And when you're going into a position, basically you're doing it more with the intent to actually complete an objective than to actually like kill everyone that's there. And what Device is really good at doing is he's good at moving into objective-based locations while maintaining incredibly good aim and control of the situation. So that's super impressive. It's like he's moving as if he's the IGL, but with the aim of someone that is like a second fragger or something like your hardest fragger too. So that's just really incredible. The way he was coming up B slope, for example, on ramp, on like the B ramp, going to B, he just gets a nice kill on Tarek at the door. Then he actually is able to enter into the site, kill Stanislav, who's hiding in the Humvee little corner. Like that was really sick. And the way he's coming out long sometimes, he's when he's doing with the AWP, he's like a little more just going for a pick and whatnot. You don't see it as much there, but the way he came up B slope was just incredible. I don't think a lot of people are going to do that with such confidence. as he did there. So yeah, he's just a really, really sick, complete player. Really excited to see Astralis in this upcoming major. I think they're definitely going to go far, and I think they're exciting enough to make it interesting too. They aren't. They're not just going to run the same boring strats over and over again. So they'll change their tempo enough that it's interesting. It doesn't seem like every round is like a stale, like, wait till the last 30 seconds and do an execute kind of thing. They will take control of spots and kind of hold them for a long time, but I think that might have just been because they think Optic are getting a little restless. So they think that Optic have to re-peek us. So that's why they'll hold. But it's all kind of calculated. It's not just like, let's make this boring and like calculated I mean, like really just kind of boring. They're doing it. Sometimes they're going fast. Sometimes they're going slow. Sometimes they're taking fast control. Sometimes they're taking slow control. They did a B rush. Like not every team does that. I don't know. It's a really good strat. Honestly, it's a pretty underrated play on Dust 2. But it's kind of that stigma around it that it's like just like a newbie pug strat. But they did a B rush. So good for Astralis. So yep, Device, really complete player. Let's go over CT side. CT side, he's mostly the AWPer for mid. He would buy an ump, just probably to help secure money for the AWP. Didn't see him do too much rifling. He did a little bit of more so I think on T side, and but he was basically their mid AWPer, and he would be a little dynamic. He kind of more went towards A. He didn't do any crazy kind of like tunnel advanced peaks or anything like that, but he would come out of mid doors sometimes to get like that advanced positioning, and he would peek at mid like on cat, and he would peek at long and stuff like that. So he moves around a bit, but he's mostly pretty much their mid player in like a 2-1, what seems like a 2-1-2 setup. He's like a mid cat player. He was pretty clean with the USP too. On T side though, just kind of Glocks. He seems like a hybrid. He is their AWPer, but he can easily put it down and pick up an AK, and he's similarly incredibly effective. He's just really good at aiming. I mean, he's really good at positioning himself, kind of making everything his mini deathmatch. But I think he has more game sense than that. He's not just like trying to out aim everyone all the time. He's actually like making really concerted peaks. His positioning is just really, really flawless. The way he was able to rotate back on the pistol round from a cat push, and how he jumped all the way back to A, like swerved his way back, was really clean, really well thought out. Really good movement positioning. Again, it's not like he's not making the best like shoulder peaks all the time, or like he's like not doing any B hops or anything like that. But he has really good positioning as opposed to movement. And to supplement his good aim, that does a lot. So that's my review of Device. Hope you enjoyed. I'm almost done with the series, guys. Stay tuned. I'm going to be uploading this to YouTube now. Thanks.